Hi, it's Joy and today I'm going to be watching The Queen's Gambit, Season 1, Episode 7, Endgame. This is the finale. Thank you so much, Natasha, for sponsoring. If you're watching this on YouTube, the unedited versions are on my Patreon. It's probably too late at this point. But yeah, I have loved this season. I spent the whole season kind of waiting in bated breath, knowing that we were going to reach this crisis point that Beth has reached. And so now I'm feeling hopeful that we're going to watch her rise out of it. But I've loved watching her journey, even knowing the darkness was coming. Let's go.
This time is true, okay?
Oh god, the day she tried to kill them both. She never dealt with any of it, did she? Was she the other woman? She has a brother. Well, they were divorced, I guess. Fuck. God, so when she died, he could have taken her in and he still didn't. She's still your child. Men. Fathers. Why are so many of them shit?
Mr. Sharble died.
Ooh.
There's a funeral day after tomorrow. I thought we could go together.
She stayed in contact with that world. Guess if she wasn't adopted.
God,
So
Beth.
she's not here to try and help her, but will she now she's here?
I'm saving up for law school.
You go.
I know. The world is fucked up. And if I'm gonna change it, I can't spend all my time teaching white girls how to hold a badminton racket.
Yes. You can trace the root of a lot of her problems.
I'm supposed to go to Russia at the end of the year. I'm afraid. Then don't go. I have to go. If I don't, there's nothing for me to do. I'll just drink. Well, looks like you do that anyway. I need to quit the wine. And now I wonder if I haven't somehow erased my own brain. Let's pretend that you didn't just compare yourself to Michelangelo. And let's look at where you're at.
I like
After
this.
being here all of 5 minutes, looks like it's at the bottom of a fucking hole.
Yes,
And it's
she
looking
needs
a lot like you dug it yourself. My advice?
someone to help her.
Stop digging.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe it's... What about for being a white trash cracker veg? Who could forget?
This is good for her. Someone that kind of knows where she came from a little bit.
How'd y'all end up way out here?
Track down your family, your father. Why
It's
not?
complicated.
If he's alive, fuck his life up.
I owed him $10.
She didn't ever pay him back. Says it's only been 10 years at most, if that. She followed her career. Oh. He cared about her so much. There was an adult that loved you wholeheartedly. Until the end. Alma did as well. Let it out, sweetheart, you need to. You gave her her world.
Oh, did you bite off more than you can chew?
A lot of trauma and pain here. I'm so glad someone's holding her and letting her let her feelings out.
It's a statement to that effect.
To the press?
Exactly. We had something prepared. There you go.
Did Benny do it? That's what I want to know. Or is it just because I'm a girl you think I should have to?
But you're also a Christian.
I'm not sure about that.
Look, I have no...
Okay. Fine. I'll give it all back.
Standing up for herself, I love it.
Count. It would be more, but I've been keeping up the house.
Okay.
It's gonna take 1,000 more to do it. At least that.
You need the house? I mean, obviously... obviously it's the house she only wait 10 seconds when I start again. Obviously it's the house like she lived in with Ulmer and everything, and there's sort of like a bit of like fuck you to Mr. Wheatley. But sell the house and then buy a littler place that you can afford more easily.
I've been keeping up. Maybe I shouldn't have done it. Maybe I didn't have to give the money back.
Maybe is a loser's word, Beth.
Benny.
Don't call me anymore.
Oof. I think it's probably best for both of them, to be honest.
You said you could play. I said I'm learning.
She's doing something other than chess in her spare time as well. Setting up for herself.
There's O'Malley $1,000.
Yes, straight away.
I'll see what I can do. I'll get back to you in an hour.
I mean, it is something that's like big for the US.
For my trip.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But we will be sending one of our men with you. Keep you safe.
Keep me safe. I shouldn't have bought the house. Or all those dresses. I'll give it to you. What?
I'm glad they have each other. Like someone that knows where
You're
they've been,
like
and someone that can watch them shine where they're
my
going.
guardian angel. That was all you had. And for a time, you was all I had. We weren't orphans. Not as long as we had each other. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Because you need me to be here. That's what family does. That's what we
Family.
are. Someday I might need you. It's doubtful. But you never know.
Is he the guy meant to be protecting her?
What exactly would a signal look like?
Could be anything. You could do it in one of your matches.
How?
I don't know.
Do you think he wants that effect, or
Спасибо.
she's dreamt of this moment? I mean, she's dreaming of playing ball golf, but you know.
Nona Gaprindashvili. She's the female world champion and has never faced men. My guess is Liev was expecting an easy win, and not at all the 27-move thrashing Beth Harmon just gave her.
The chess world is vast. He got up to study the board. He's mildly concerned.
But there was a solidity to her opening moves that she was able to maintain through the middle game and on to the point each of them resigned.
Sportsmanlike.
Hellstrom,
Destroy these men.
him, however, was very decent, though Harmon's win over him was decisive and merciless.
When she's at her best. I love watching her shine. She is scribbling in those books. Not what he was expecting when he got this assignment.
Vodka. Нет.
Good. Stay true to you. They trying to get her to drink, throw her off her game.
A dangerous player when allowed to attack. Harmon.
Will this be her first
Very careful.
actual challenge?
Meaning we didn't finish.
Oof. It was her hardest match, but I think
So,
she enjoyed it the most.
When do we finish?
They're working as a team to try and beat her. You need sleep as well, my dear. She did not sleep.
So, it was all the more impressive when she beat him with 25 minutes still on her clock.
That's our girl.
I resign with relief.
I've played your game since I was a small girl. I've always really admired you.
You are how old again?
I'm 20.
Don't tell me. It'll only drive a stake through my heart.
Thank you.
Go on for nearly 4 hours, but Flento put up quite a fight along the 2 main diagonals and played the
Tiring her out
with a sophistication that looked
so that she'll be more worn out in the next
like it was far
stage.
beyond Harmon's.
A problem I gotta solve.
What problem?
What to do with you is not a good response.
What'd I do with you?
She meant because she doesn't think she's taking care of you right. But that's not a nice feeling to have as a kid.
Mama?
Close your eyes.
I know. Don't do it, Beth. Oh, down the toilet, yes, Beth. You were stronger than everything you've been through because you were still standing. I just want her to do her best and come out of it feeling good. I think she'll win, but like, if this was, you know, even if she doesn't, even if you were to beat her, I want her to be like, I played my best and I'm gonna beat him next time kind of vibes.
Harmon's response was a complete deviation from the Elvin, which must have surprised him right back, whilst allowing her to get out into the open.
That's what Benny said, was don't play for yourself, don't play for the other person. He's playing for the other person right now. Our girl is shining. Personal problems aside. I bet the Russian woman could also beat him. I don't understand enough about chess to understand what's happening right now. Can anyone say adjourn at any time?
His name was Scheibel. William Scheibel. He was a janitor. We played in the basement.
The janitor taught you to play chess?
That's right. William Scheibel was a fine player. Now, will you please promise to print that?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
Thank
You'll
you.
excuse me, I'm very
Honoring him.
I'm with the Lexington Herald Leader.
Whoa.
I know you were angry with me,
Yeah, you shouldn't have kissed her. She was a kid,
and I'm sorry.
and you weren't the least bit interested.
I should have told you the whole story. Clearly.
Let's talk chess now. Or sleep.
Consider me yours.
They could be good friends. What she really needs is friends. She's a sister, a friend. This is what she needs.
I'll put her on.
Who's all?
Hello?
If he goes for the knight, hidden with the king, we're
Annie?
If he goes for the bishop, do the same thing. But we've been working on it for 3 hours.
Oh.
We?
Oh, that's really lovely. She needs all the friends she can get, all the people in her life. Oh. This is really lovely.
Hey, assholes! This is costing me a bundle. Listen to me.
When she's at her lowest,
okay?
they'll forgive her for that and they'll love her anyway. She can forgive them when they make mistakes
Depending on
too.
what he does. I mean,
This
we
is
can work our
lovely.
way through. So do you have it handy?
Because they work as a team. You know, he adjourns so he can go off and work with his team, and she has her team too.
Yes, I do. Yes.
And if he plays rook to rook 5, and you play
Look at
pawn
them
to king
go.
3,
Supportive friends for our girl.
if he plays
Bolstered.
Benny?
Go beat him.
I'm glad that she has supportive people behind her, and she will. Imagine if his next move is nothing to do with the move they planned. But you know what? The bolstered support would be enough. It's really emotional, everyone supporting her. And she's done all the hard bit for herself. But being able to accept that helped with a smile on her face. I have no idea if we're near the end or if like they're gonna go on for 6 hours. I still don't understand chess. I just don't know the rules. I probably could learn. I'd never be Beth.
Shit.
She wasn't prepared for this, or is he gonna win?
He's not doing what he's supposed to do.
Stay strong. Be Beth. See, not doing what he's supposed to do, so this is all her. As much as her advice helped her gain confidence, helped her feel ready for it, This is all Beth. You got this. It was never the pill. Look at her go. That's our sweet queen. Queen of chess. Oof. He doesn't look happy anymore.
Draw.
Borgov never offers us a solid achievement.
She's not going to accept this,
Draw,
she?
however, is not a win. The one thing we know about Elizabeth Harmon is that she loves to win.
You rattled him enough to make him offer a draw. You go for the end. Come on. This seems good to me.
What will she do now?
Come on, sweetheart. She seems happy. Has he done it?
It's your game. Take it.
I'm so proud of her. She did it all by herself. She did it with her own mind, without any of her coping enabling mechanisms. I'm so proud of her. You deserve it, and 1,000 times fold. Your girl did it. Good
for you, Cracker.
So proud of her. People in her life, because she's been alone for so long, and then I think one of the biggest things of this episode was that she just wasn't alone. She did it alone, but she wasn't alone, if that makes sense. Like, she was strong enough, she could do it by herself, but she didn't have to. She had people around her to bolster her, to love her and believe in her. And it wasn't just because they wanted to sleep with her, it was just people that valued her, and that was everything. Is the security dude, I suppose is he going on, he's leaving her do it? Hasn't actually experienced anything for herself the whole time she's been here. But she is happy in herself for the first time, and that makes me happy. I don't know if any of them recognize her or how many of them do. A lot of them, I think.
Lisa, ga man. Harmon.
Just their lives too. Seeing her happy and believing in herself and loving chess again is so wonderful. She's doing this because she loves it. And it makes me really happy to see her so content in herself. Absolutely adored this episode. From the beginning, with Jolene showing up, I mean, it was sad that Mr. Scheibel was dead and that she kind of never got to go back and revisit with him. You feel like if he was alive, just in hospital or something, she might have been able to go and tell him how much he meant to her, but I think he knew, and you knew how much she meant to him as well. I think this episode, it was so good in so many ways. It was the release you've been needing, both for her, for us as the viewer, from her reconnecting with someone that knows where she came from, that she kind of lost touch with, and seeing that they both are doing okay for themselves. They both found their own way in the world, despite the world maybe not being as open to them as it could be. And then revisiting her past, both in revisiting the trailer that she grew up in, and then I think also allowing herself to revisit the painful memories, not pushing away, not coming out of them as quickly as possible, but thinking of them, remembering her mum trying to give her to her father because she, maybe this time now that she's older, thinking of the words she overheard and understanding them a little bit better. Her mother was struggling. She was didn't have good mental health. I presume a lot of other things going on. And the little bit we heard, which I presume means Beth heard, was her saying, I'm not taking care of her enough. I can't be enough for her. I need you to take her. But her father had his second family. He was all well and good, not the woman he divorced. I presume that wanted nothing to do with her. And then when she said, I feel like the bit Beth probably clung on to all these years was, I'm trying to figure out what to do with you, and then that leading into a suicide. Like, when you put it all together, her mother was struggling, reached out for help to the person who should fucking be caring for his own child. The number of men who think that they can just walk away from families is fucking ridiculous. I think as an adult, as someone who has also been through struggles, not the same struggles, but struggles, I think you can look at your actions of a parent very differently. When you're a kid, you very much expect your parent to be everything. And when you're older, you realize that they are human too. And I think both going through that journey with Jolene at her side, saying things like, well, that's the past, we're focusing on you. I think she needed to look at those memories, to revisit them, to go to the school, the home, to revisit that, to revisit Mr. Scheibel and just how much he meant and that connection, and to let those feelings out. When she finally let herself cry her eyes out, thank God she needed to. She needed to get those feelings out. And to then have someone who's a friend, who's family, she's not alone in the world. And then you take that connection and you add to it, obviously she was worrying about money, and I don't necessarily blame Benny for initially being like, oh, don't talk to me again. I don't think he was being 100% fair, because he was aware that she was having problems and everything, but they weren't in obviously it wasn't going to be a romance or a relationship that was going anywhere, though maybe he thought it was. But I think they needed that break of the unhealthiness that could have been there in that connection, which will then allow a potential friendship to grow that is more healthy, in the same way that when Harry left, they also had to have that break. But I'm glad people were looking out for her. I'm glad that when Jolene saw she needed help, she kind of gave her that help. And, it wasn't controlling. It wasn't like, I'm going to rule your life now. It was just kind of like, come on, you want better than this, don't you? And then offering her the money because she believes in her, because that's what family does. It's just everything that this girl has needed for so long. And she did have that with Alma, but Alma was someone who was going through a lot and who needed a lot of that support right back. And I think it's really important that Beth had someone who, when she was struggling, was strong. Someone who, when she was struggling, was able to be like, I'm here for you, I've got you. And like, one day maybe we will be returning this favour, because that is family and friendship, and that is the sort of support mechanism you need. And then obviously when she was in Russia and she was sober and she just kept being tempted and just staying strong, made me so proud of her. I'm not saying she'll never fumble again, but I'm just so proud of her because she was doing it for herself. She wasn't doing it because somebody else wanted her to or somebody else told her to. And then demolishing all those smug men. Okay, they weren't all smug men, but a couple of them were smug men. And seeing the sort of the inspiration she was giving to people. If it was true that at the time, I think when this show first came out, I feel like I saw one article headline that I scrolled past that was like, chess actually was a bit more inclusive back then. Like, in America, there were more than one good woman player. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't read the article. I just scrolled past it. But from the fact that they said in Russia there is a women's championship and a men's championship, probably was accurate, because otherwise that's quite a big, bold statement to say. So the idea of a woman coming and just demolishing them is everything. I loved seeing Beth staying true to what she believes in, whether it's not saying, oh yes, praise Jesus, when she doesn't necessarily think that. Like, I just think she's staying true to who she is. She's not being the person other people want her to be. She's being herself. And sometimes that will overlap with what other people want, sometimes it won't. Even when it was speaking with the reporters, she didn't say, he wanted her to say, I'm just so glad I'm an American. But instead she was like, my janitor taught me chess, and like, print his name, make sure he gets the credit. Yes, he's gone, but she's not going to hide from where she comes from, and she's not going to hide from who is important to her. And I think that is just showing there's so much improvement in who she is and in her belief in herself, and I loved it so much. Then of course Towns turning up. Now initially when I saw him I was kind of like, I hope this is going to be good, but of course it was. And I'm glad he apologised. And I mean, I'm glad she apologised, so she was also like 17, so her not handling that situation well makes perfect sense. But also I suppose given the what it was like to be gay then, I don't blame him for being a bit muddled either. But I think that moment where they were able to reconnect, I think, yes, part of her, he'll always be her first love, you know, the first person she fell for, but she will find true love, real love, because as much as I think she had a love for him, I think it was very much a kid's love. It didn't develop into anything else, because of course it didn't. But then him being there for her to support her, him pulling strings or like getting there so that she would have someone to help her, to give her confidence. You know, she'd seen the way the Russians were working together, just like Benny had said, that they work as a team. And then she had him on her side, and then he was able to hook her up with the rest of the boys, and I love that so much. The idea that they had all got together in Benny's weird little basement apartment. It's mainly weird because of its lack of decoration and furnishings. But I'm like, why does it just look like a bunker? But like they were all there. They'd been puzzling out all the possible plays that they could think of, and of course, it being Borgov and Beth Harmon, the game did not go the least bit the way any of them thought it would. But just the fact that they were believing in her, that any of them that she hadn't ended things very well with were completely past that, you know, seeing her shine made them happy, and they wanted to help her through that, and they were supporting her, and they weren't expecting anything of her other than just accepting their help, and she did. And that meant everything to me. And then seeing Towns being so happy, like, just, she has people now, she has family, she has friends, and she's been so alone for so long. And as much as she did have Ulma, and that was a very special relationship, it was also a relationship where, because Ulma was struggling so much and needed help that she wasn't getting, Beth still was kind of alone in that relationship. Whereas now she's got people and she can carry that with her going forwards, and that makes me so happy. I'm also very glad that she won, because it means that, you know, she can pay her Jolene back, and she's not going to stop her going to law school. But that belief that people around her had, and seeing Beth get that belief back in herself, and, you know, that moment where Borgov did something that wasn't expected, she'd been practicing, she'd been preparing, oh my god, this isn't the plan, she stopped and she saw it on the ceiling, because it was never the drugs and the pills, it was always something inside of her. And maybe in the past, when she first started taking the drugs, it was kind of the drugs put her in a calm, relaxed place where she wasn't dealing with any of her anxieties or stresses, and that was the place where chess also puts her, so they kind of melded. But she found a way that it wasn't the booze, it wasn't the drugs. She is herself, and she is fantastic. I love the old man player who she looked up to as well. Like, their bond was everything. Like, their game, you could see how much he was enjoying himself, and then how happy he was when she did win. And even Borgov, you could see, was like, this girl did it. Whoa. The fact that he offered the draw, that huge. Even if she had lost, you'd be like, I got him to the spot where he offered me a draw, people. Have you ever done that? And then when she beat him, and the kind of look of shock on her face, the look of like, I just did that. Like, I'm not, like, I think for a minute she would be thinking, have I completely forgotten chess? Is he about to beat me? Have I? But no, she'd done it, and he actually was happy for her. And then just for her to have done it, to have reached this pinnacle that she's been striving towards, life is hers now. And you really got the feeling at the end of this episode that she has people around her that she will support in turn, and that can support her. She has a better understanding of who she is, of why she is the way she is, of why she maybe has some of the problems she has, but of how she can deal with those problems, how she can heal from them and begin to move forward with her life and not always be held back. She's got confidence, she is who she is, you know, she's not going to let other people tell her what to do. If she feels like, yeah, maybe I will go to that dinner, it could be fun, she'll go, but she's not going to be pressured. And you just really got left feeling that, admittedly, I don't know how she's going to get to the airport unless she has money in her pocket. But no, you did just get left with that sense that she's going to be just fine. In fact, she's going to shine. And that is exactly where you want to leave a character after a show like this. I have loved watching Beth's journey. It's been a painful one at times. It's been a beautiful one the whole way through. And just, my favourite thing about this finale was obviously that she won. But my favourite parts were her belief in herself, and the fact that she's not alone anymore. The fact that she could have done it alone, I truly believe that. I think the place she was in, even if Towns hadn't turned up, even if there hadn't been the phone call from the guys, I think maybe she would have been a little bit less sure going into it, but I still think her mind would have done it. But the fact that she has those people around her helps bring her that confidence, and that I'm enough, I'm good enough, yeah, fuck that, yeah I am. And then she's able to go from there. So I've loved watching her grow, and this finale was perfect. Thank you so much, Natasha, for sponsoring, and thank you for watching.